Hello, namaskar, and a very good afternoon to all the viewers watching our session out there. This is Simran Singh, and you are watching this particular live interactive session on eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides, we have so many different mediums through which you all can connect with us in our live interactive sessions. And one of the other mediums you all are well versed with. It is NCERT Official, our YouTube channel. So it's around 4 p.m. on your watch and regularly from 4 till 5. We have our very special sessions running on different channels of eVidya for all of you. So you must be willing to know what are we going to discuss for another 1 hour. So let me apprise you that the conversation will be about exploring Testportal for teaching and learning. As you all know that with the intervention of technology in our teaching learning process, our classroom experiences have enriched. So providing us more guidance and insights into Testportal. Here we have with us our today's guest. So allow me to introduce you with the guest for today's session. She is Miss Aprajita Rai. Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaste.
Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Madam is serving as an academic consultant at CIET-NCERT. So viewers, in this live interactive session, if you have any of the queries, then feel free to write down to us in the comment section of NCERT Official. Besides, here is a contact number that is flashing on your screens. So kindly give us a call in case of doubts at 8800-440-559, and a specific mail desk help ID for all of you is again right there. It is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So let's begin our conversation on exploring Testportal. So ma'am, in the first place, I would like to know more about what is it all about. Is it a software?
Okay, so it's an online platform and it is basically used for assessment and primarily, if I say it, for quiz.
Yeah.
So for any kind of quiz, you can use this particular platform, which is absolutely free for teachers.
So I'm pretty sure that the conversation will turn out to be very interesting.
Yes.
For all our viewers.
Yes.
Quiz, the questions, and then the answers and the options. So let's begin.
Okay. So I would like to start with my presentation. So I'll talk about certain things. All right. So before talking about assessment, I wanted to know that you people much aware about the new education policy and the different recommendations by the new education policy. Here we are going to talk about assessment. So according to new education policy 2020, it recommends that a child required a multi-level assessment. It required a platform which provide the child a high order skills, provide to have a critical thinking and conceptual clarity. Previously, the assessment was morely rote memorize, a child learn about the answers and then they score marks. But after pandemic, it is very important to improvise this assessment, different assessments, and it's very important and it is important to improvise the kind of questions we a teacher developed for a child. New education policies also talk about that after the pandemic, after the COVID-19, there is a big backlog. That backlog creates a lot of conceptual errors, lot of misunderstandings, lot of gap in the learning outcomes. So it's very important to learn a very important topic, which is blended learning. Blended learning, it's morely talk about that how the classroom pedagogy and technology can be integrated. Here, as you can see on my screen, I'm talking about the peer-to-peer coaching. I'm talking about the direct interaction. I'm talking about the new trends of education, which is game-based learning, which is toy-based learning, which talk about how technology can be integrated in the classroom practices, and also talk about the virtual learning platform. These all to be blended in while making any assessment, while creating any classroom activity with the student. Now, it's very important to know why we need to make an assessment and why new education policy is emphasizing on assessment. What is the need? It was there earlier also, but now why? Because a child is learning and there is a big 2 years backlog, and now what the child is learned in the beginning and now the child is learning, there is a lot of learning outcomes, there are a lot of great competencies which are not yet achieved. And if a teacher thinks about that why assessment is important, what to be added in the assessment, then only a teacher could understand that a student need to know a lot of from the teacher. Here you can see that I am talking about assessment for learning, assessment as learning, assessment of learning. You all are must be aware of that. I am just repeating that when I am talking about the assessment of learning, I am talking about the summative assessment. I am talking about the benchmark a child is going to attain, the learning outcome a child is going to attain in the end. Then when I am talking about the assessment for learning, I am merely talk about that the child learning and a teacher evaluating a child while in the classroom, while in the teaching learning process in the classroom. But new education policy again emphasizes on assessment as learning, which is talking about how much space a teacher is giving to a child to reflect, to critically access, to critically think, to improvise their learning, to adapt and personalize their learning. So that is why the need of assessment is more. Let's now talk about that what we are going to learn in the Testportal platform. In the Testportal platform, we are going to learn about why, what is it, why it is, how and where. Let's see. What is Testportal? This particular online platform is actually used for examination, any kind of examination, and it allows to conduct a pro examination, test and different quizzes. This platform also allows scope to evaluate learners with different type of assessment. What kind of assessments we are going to add, we are going to see further. Who all can access this platform? It's a very important part that who all can access this. Any teacher educator, any student and any passionate learner who wanted to create, who wanted to innovate in assessments, in the domain of assessment, they are very much, this platform is very much useful for them. Now this is a very important slide which I am going to share, and then I will go to my online platform. Assessment and this particular tool which I am going to share, it's actually provide hands-on experience on developing multi-level assessment. Now what is multi-level assessments? Earlier it was like a one type of assessment, like we are adding a descriptive questions or we are adding MCQs, or probably mostly we added some paragraph or essay. But here in this portal you are going to learn about what else we can add. Personalized and adaptive learning. I have intentionally added a student in this particular slide, that a student has to, if they wanted to, create their own personalized and adaptive quizzes. If they wanted to access that, as I've said earlier, assessment as learning. If they wanted to assess them according to their pace, if they wanted to check their understanding, they are more welcome in this portal. To support in developing student-centered evaluation. In a classroom, we can see that there are multi-level children. Every child has a different cognitive level. Every child has learning pace is different. Every child learn with different modes. Some children learn through audio, some children learn through videos, some children learn through pictures, some learn through different activities. So when even creating assessment, what kind of different type of assessments we can add which is student centered. Support in designing assessment with the supports of identifying misconceptions. In coming slide, and when I am going to go to my portal, I am also going to show you some examples which may depict misconceptions. So how we can add certain questions which intentionally create misconception, and if a child is able to answer it, a teacher got to know whether a child know the concept or not. If they answer the correct one, that means yes, the child knows the answer. If doesn't, then a teacher needs to reflect that I have prepared, I have teach the concept, but students still are not know what to be added and what to be know in that particular concept. Last but not the least, it supports new education policy 21st century skills. That is, as performance-based questions that allows learners to authentically perform complex tasks in stimulated applications and multiple choice, knowledge-based questions, etc. So everything can be included in this particular portal. There are certain features of Testportal, like there are categories which I am going to show you. There are some samples also. So you can create your samples or you can access the portal sample. There are certain examples which you can access. You can see that what kind of questions can be added, what kind of, so the example category will work like a tutorial for you, where you can see, okay, so this much I can add, or these things I could be added or deleted likewise. Then the new test, and new test is the test when we create and you show your creativity. Now begins with the Testportal. Moving forward to the Testportal platform. As you can see in this particular slide, if you have a wrong tool, you won't be able to cross the wall. But if you have a right tool, you will be able to cross the wall. Similarly, to use this Testportal platform, you really need to know what requirements, what tools you need to have before you create anything, before you innovate. So here you can see you required desktop, you required an internet, desktop, laptop. I prefer not to start with a tablet, but start with a desktop and laptop, but you can try in any of the device. You need to have a good internet, and then you need to have a Google account. It's very important to use this particular Testportal. How? Now it's very important, you need to know the steps, because if you don't know the steps and if you go randomly, you won't be able to perform, you won't be able to go and you make mistakes. So step 1 is you have to go to this www.testportal.net, go to the website. Then you have to sign up with your Google account. Then you have to, the step 3, then you need to explore and learn what you could be add, what you could be delete, or what you could be recreate. And step 4 is create your assessment tool. So let's begin with the Testportal. So as much as I said to you currently that this assessment and this Testportal is very important, and now we are going to learn how we have to use this particular Testportal. For that you need to go to any search engine, like I am going to the Google and I am typing Testportal. And as you can see, the first https www.testportal.net, you have to click on it. Once you click on it, there are some different informations for you. So for any beginner who want to know something about before starting, you have to go through it. There is a product, there is a solution, there are different cases, there are blog and everything. So you can go that. Now I am not going over there, but I will log in now. See, as I have already logged in, that is why it's come separate directly, but you will get a simple login, or I'll show you again. I'll sign out. Let me use a different window. Like this. So whenever you are going to type testportal.net login, then you will have a page like this. Here you have to write your ID and here you have to write your password. So for example, let's see. You can add any password, whatever suitable for you, and then you have to sign in. So you will get your Testportal page here. Now I am not using this one, I am using the previous one. Now this is your Testportal page. When you go there, it comes like this. When you log in, it will come like this. Before going further and to create Testportal, I wanted to show you some different, some other document also. Whenever you are going to start any test, you are requested to develop a sheet like this. It's a script, or I would say it's a beforehand questionnaire I have developed. Just to make it easy, if I wanted to add a video in something, if I wanted to add any options, if I wanted to add image in the options, I have priorly developed this document for myself. There are 6 questions which I am going to use. So what will happen when you are going to start, you not need to be very puzzled, and you not to be like going here and there. You just synchronize, you just put your questions here and then you start. So I'll do the same. Now in this particular portal you can see there is a my test. They are categories. These are categories developed by you. These you can also, like for example, today I have created this category science. I can create a category like mathematics. I can create a category like any other topic. Apart from that, there are some samples, there are some tests. If you remember in my presentation, I have talked about the examples. So here we have some prior examples which this portal provides us free of cost. Like for example, if I activate a test, here I go, I am just showing you the example and then we will start making it. This is the link. I will show you how I will use the link, how I will do everything. But just to show you one glance, I am showing you this XYZ and my last name is 123. Start test. So here you get the questions. So one by one you get the questions, like, and I will submit the answer. I am just submitting the answer and you can see the timing is also coming. We will talk about this later on, what are the timings, why the timing is coming, if I can do something with that also. The question is that the name of the city present in the picture, submit. Then what is below you can see an example of, so this is a topography, submit. Okay, Hudson River, talk about that. Okay, so this might be the answer, C. So for a student, I act as a student. I have passed this and this is my scorecard. Now I'll go to the scorecard later on. I'll cross this. I'll talk about how we create this test. You have seen a quick glance that how the test looks. Now let's create it. For creating any particular quiz, you have to click new test. When you click to new test, it's talk about certain basic information. What is the name of the test? So I would write Testportal webinar sample. You can add any name. Categories, if you want to see, there are some certain categories, learning, science, something, but if you want to add, you can add any name. So I would write assessment, then create. Now if you wanted to add any description, this is for all learners, you can add that. It is in English, so it's provide only in English. You cannot unfortunately create in Hindi. Now create. When you start creating, it asks for certain basic settings. As you can see here, there are basic settings they are asking about. Basic settings, that text belongs to the category assessment. Yes, this is true. Here you can see I have not shared with anyone, so the respondents are right now 0. Then add questions in the text, so I am going to add, but before that let me check the other settings. Random order of questions and answer enabled, I am okay with that there should be a random order because I wanted to give to the multiple students and I want the order of the question can be random, it should be. Test marks 50%, okay. And test in public link access mode. I want it to be in a public links because I am only sharing with my students, so there is no problem with that. And then actively immediately after all settings are confirmed, time limit for each question is 2 minutes. So there are 2 minutes for this, and I can change this timing also. For that I am going to talk later on. Now let's add the questions. For adding the questions, I am going to the question manager. As you can see, below the basic settings there is question manager, add questions. Now it is very important for all the viewers who are looking and actually watching this session, please make sure that whatever I am going to do, it is very important, so you can note it down also. Now when I am going to the question manager, there is question. This question provides, if you wanted to add any paragraph, it is a subtitle, title, small text, word. Then you can add any image if you wanted to, but please make sure that it do not support GIF. It do not support that. It's support either PNG or JPEG. Then I talk about this video. So if you have a source link, you can add a source link. If you don't, then you can upload also. So we will do that later on. Let me first show you certain features of this. Then you can add any link, you can add any special character, you can bold it, you can italic it. If you want to do any mathematic or physics question, then you can add this. There are certain special characters also which you can add according to your questions, according to your type of questions. Like as you can see, there are symbols, there are arrows, whatever you wanted to write, you wanted to add, you can. Now it's talk about the color of the question, it's talk about if you wanted to fill anything, and then it's talk about you wanted to add bullets, you wanted to make it in the center, or you wanted to justify it like that. Now category, in which category you wanted to add. There is generic, so I'll add in the generic, and if you wanted to add a new category, you can name it. So again, I wanted to add a category called assessment. Now the best and interesting part of this test portal, that it's not only provide you in one type of assessment, but it provide you several. Like you can talk about single choice, you can talk about multiple choice, you can add descriptive questions, you can add true false, you can add short answer, and also survey. All of these you can add in your quiz and you give it to your learner. Now here the answers. So I think I'm good to begin this. So according to my document, this is my first question and I wanted to add a video. So first of all, I copy this. Before that, let me just add the questions and then I'll tell you. I am taking a topic of class 10th, 6th chapter. So for that, I did some preparation. This is my preparation. I created a script for it. I downloaded a textbook for it, and in this particular textbook, in this particular chapter, I have choose a topic heart. Then I have selected certain images which might be required for me, and some other images. So these much work you need to do before you creating any assessment. It will help you to create easily. Now going back, so this is my first question and I wanted to make it left align. So according to my document, this is my question and I wanted to add a video. Alright, so I'm going again and I wanted to add a video. I'll go to that, please see it properly. I'm going there, then I'm uploading, and I'm going to my presentation text portal, and here I've uploaded the video. Okay, so I'm okay with the height and width. If you wanted to change, you are welcome to change, and then save. So this is my video is uploaded now, and this is my question. Now let's check. These are my options. So one by one, I'm going to add the options. Where I'm going to add the option? Here. Every box having one option space. So you need to understand that whenever you are copying anything, you need to go there and you need to paste one by one. Then, and in this entire questionnaire, I am going to show you that how. Now I have one more option, so I can add answer, and this is fluid. I am going to show you every different feature of this particular portal. So right now, likewise, I am using a single choice. Alright, and my answer is blood. So I have added this. Whenever you are adding any options, please make sure that you also add the answer. Now I wanted to give this 1 marks, and for incorrect I am not going to give any marks. I am just saying 0 is fine for me. Don't do save, because if you save then it become your quiz. You need to do save and next. Now save and next. Now let's see my other question. Alright, so this is my question, and again this question is having one image. If you remember, I was talking about that how this portal also can be utilized for addressing misconception. So I am going to show you that once I will develop. Here I have added a video. Sorry, not this one. Sorry. If you wanted to delete anything, you just click and press the delete button. Here I need to add an image and then save. This is the image. If I wanted to make it short, I can make it short also. Okay, and then I need to add the options. So in every option I am going to add an image, and I am going to tell you why I am going to do that. For example, let me write the options first. As you can see, I am just using my document. I am copying and I am pasting. Now I need one more option, so I will add answers, and I am going to here. Like, now here I am going to add image. So by this I am going to teach my student different. I am going to assess my student something else which I am going to share with you. See what happened. When you give any option to a child, they learned it, they wrote, memorize it. Okay, so this is about this. Okay, so this particular answer would be this. They wrote, memorize it. But I want them to identify also. If I am talking about a pelvic region, what is the pelvic region, how the pelvic region looks like, how the head cavity looks like, how the abdominal portion looks like, abdominal cavity looks like. Now I have added the options also, and I have added images with that. The heart is located in the dash cavity. Okay, so here. Now save and next. Now because in my classroom there are different kind of children, and some children doesn't learn through a text or a question. They learn through a videos. They enjoy watching videos and answering questions. For that, one more thing which I have missed, that in my previous question I could, that's like it's a single choice. Now I am going to use multiple choice questions. Okay, so there are two single choice questions. Now I am using multiple choice questions, and for that I am using this particular question. Right. Okay. Here, now I wanted to add a video. Okay, so I can add the options accordingly. So you are very much, you have all the freedom to add whatever you want to add into this. You can add any image, you can add any equation, you can add any video if you want to, you can add any other thing which is suitable and which is acceptable by this portal. So you need to explore for that. Now let me see, none of the above is also there. Copy, add answer, paste. All right. Now I just wanted to add one descriptive questions. So I am choosing this particular question, or I wanted to add a true false first. Copy, to make it true and false. Let me do some changes. Yeah, so I am just improvising my question on the spot. So it's true or false. Now save and next. Now I wanted to add one descriptive question, a one-liner question. A descriptive could be, so I would like to add this first. All right. Dash is this, okay. Now this is a descriptive one, so we don't need to write an answer. This is open ended, and I wanted to see whether my children is able to answer it or not, because I need to check how much they have learned. Is there any misconceptions, is there any doubts they have? All right. Now I think my questions are done, and I'm going to save. Now when I'm going to save, let's suppose I wanted to edit this question and I wanted to add something else. See what I did. I just went there, I thought something, and now I wanted to edit. So I went there, there is a 3 lines here. In these 3 lines you just need to click and you need to edit. So I think this particular video would be there. You depend that I'm talking about which. So here, like, now I thought that I can add some more questions also, but here no. When you save it, you didn't get the chance to add more. Now I think my questions are done. I wanted to check all 4. This is it. See, these are my questions. These are my all 5 questions. Make sure whenever you're going to make it live, you should press all the 5 questions. If you don't, then it will only appear the question 1. If you want to add questions, you can add questions. Now here you can see certain other settings like test sets, test access, test starts page and all. Let's check what is it. Let's talk about, okay, so fix the question and answer order as defined the question manager, or random questions, which I've already done. Then test access, how I wanted to access this test. Do I need some web page? Do I need to add some other link or something? Then test page start, how I wanted to start the. So maybe I'll start let's begin, and anything you wanted to write. Then grading summary. Now timing settings. It's very important that if you're providing any quiz, and in that particular quiz you might require to add that your entire quiz might have or should have complete in 1 hour, let's suppose, or you want it to be in 1 hour 30 minutes, or you want it to be finished with it's only in 30 minutes, so you can add accordingly, right? Or let's suppose here if you wanted to give every question a minute, so let's suppose I wanted to give every question 1 minute. So this is according to you. You know your children, you know your children pace. A teacher is the best person who know about the children, how which child do any topic or in which time. Like the teacher is the best person who know their students pace. So accordingly you can do that. Now I want to activate this test. I am done with my all the settings. Now I want to activate the pace. Now, are you sure you want to activate this test? Make sure all settings are correct. I think I'm sure. See, this is the page comes when you activate. Now, it is written that this will close by 16:46. It start there, and then there is a time given there, that then there is a link which is in public. Okay, this is the test link. Okay, fine. Random order, okay fine. So I have checked this. What you have to do, either you can copy this link or you just go to this link. Now you can copy and give it to the students, or you can just copy this and give it to the students. Now I wanted to see, and also if you wanted to see your test, let's suppose you wanted to see your test, so you can do a preview also. This is a default preview, okay fine. It is going to be look like this. This is the first question, then this is the second question. Okay, the question would look like this. This is the third question. Okay, I think I'm good. Now I can provide the link to my students. Now when the students click on this, it will come this page. This page gives you, for example, the student name is Aparajita and the student is grade 1 @ the roll number. So I asked my students, whenever you're going to write your last name, you need to write the grade, and then you need to write the grade, and then you need to write the roll number. Start test. Now the test is start. See, as I can see, if in the preview, if you see there is some mistake, so before giving this test, you need to check whether the preview is going right or not. So the question is, the heart is located in the cavity. Which cavity? Abdominal, brain, pelvic or thoracic. So the answer would be this one. Submit the answer. Now next, you wanted to see this particular video. A child can make it. Now it can enlarge it. Now I'm playing this video. This video is talking about the left ventricle, right ventricle. It's talking about the different flows. It's talking about the pulmonary veins. It's talking about all of that. The child need to see this particular video and then read the question. Which of the following is carried by heart to all the organs of the body through arteries, capillaries and arteries? What would be the answer? The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood through supravena cava. Is this true or false? True. Then, which of the atrium receive oxygenated blood from the lungs through pulmonary vein? Now, if I wanted to add the answer, I can add the answer. So, I am just showing you that how the child can work, how the child can ask, you can ask different questions to a child. Now the test ended. This is the test ended. Now once the test ended, a child can save the results either in email, either in PDF, either via link. Now when the PDF came, it asked for the print. You can save as a PDF or teacher can give it later on. Okay, so I am not going to do that because of the time constraint. Then links, you can provide a link. If this is the link, you can copy the link and you can keep it with you. All right. Now, a student perform this. When I go back for a teacher, when I go back, I wanted to check how my student performed, it reflect here. So there are certain, see, this is showing me this. That means that something has left. So I'm requesting a teacher also that whenever they perform or create any test, they do it by themselves so that they can check the mistakes happen if. I'm just quickly going to show you one more example. Like I have created this example, heart and its structure. Again, I'm doing XYZ now, or I will write the name. Let's suppose Anjali. Then I write grade 10 at the rate like 2, 3, 4, 5 and start. See, the heart is located in the, then submit the answer, true. So likewise, you know that, okay, so I can add certain questions like this. I can ask, like for example, I don't know the answer and I put the wrong answer. A child, okay, fine. Go to Testportal. This is a child done, the work is done. Now what is happening? Why showing this minus? Let's see what has happened wrong. It is very important for a teacher also to check if whatever they have created, whether it is fine, whether it is showing all the settings correct or not. If you don't check, then something this happened to you also. Now I wanted to change the settings, I wanted to check, but I cannot do it. Why? This is something which you need to know, that with this portal, if you create any quiz, and you wanted to change the settings, you wanted to change the questionnaire, you cannot change, you cannot work on the same file. You need to make it duplicate with some name. It's very important. When you make, see, I'll just show you. When you clicking here, okay, it's duplicating. Now, if I click here, now I go to my basic questionnaire, for example, here, I wanted to change, I wanted to edit something. As you can see here, there is, the editing option is not showing. It's just saying copy to, but it's not showing. But if I wanted to change, make some changes for my another batch, I check, okay, I have made this and there is some questions were not marked well, the marking was not correct. What should I do? I need to make a new copy. So how you have to do? You just make a duplicate of it. When you duplicate, now click. Now go to the basic settings, alright, go to the questions, alright, here edit. Now you can edit. Now you can edit all your questions. If something is not marked, you can edit. Now this was the first question. Let's suppose I have to click here. Let's suppose where I have not marked. So I think I have not marked here. Now edit. I've given this, there should be this, okay, it should be font marks. Then category can be anything. Every question can have different category. Display marks, possible score of this. Let's suppose I wanted to add this also and save. So you saved accordingly and now your assessment is ready. This is how you can create any assessment. Now I have created the assessment, I have spread also. Now I wanted to check the result. I wanted to check how my child is performed. For that I need to go to result database. Here you can have every child results. See, who failed, who got an average, something happened, then who got good score. Let's suppose if I check this. So they have some XYZ, there's some name. They have passed the test 50%. Okay, so why they are coming minus? Because I have put that if they perform 50%, like if there is a 6 question and 3 answer, then only they score. So what I need to do, when I am going there, when I am checking my test, when I need to edit something here, in my basic settings, and then here, I need to remove this. and then I have to save. Because I am putting the category that the 50% only score, that is why the students were getting marks in minus. So, a teacher need to understand. So, I did that mistake intentionally to let you know, when we put that a child need to learn, a child need to answer the 50% of the question, you should not burden a child with that. You should let the child answer whatever they want to add. Then only you will able to check the exact, you able to understand. You need to give a space to your child even while assessing, while you making that. For example, I was talking about, then when I make this particular questions, I've intentionally add these images. Why I've added these images? Because I'm not actually assessing my child right now, but I wanted to make them learn without telling me directly. So I'm not telling them directly, see that the abdominal cavity looks like this, the pelvic cavity looks like this. No, I'm not telling them, I'm letting them observe. This is what I wanted to add. Now, just a few things left in this particular portal which I wanted to show you. Result database which I have showed you. So, for example, here 50% marks scored. Here, if I wanted to give this particular to any of my children, to their parents or their guardian, this is the scorecard for a child. How? What is the respondent view? Let's check. Respondent view is the view which is shown to any child. This much it's been shown to a child. Now, if I wanted to download it and save it for myself, how will I do it? Let's check. So, there is an option called download here. Now, I wanted to download everything. I download and then it will download in a PDF. See. So, it comes with everything. That this is the respondent, its first name is this, last name is this, he started the session by that, then he passed the test and then he scored. See, every question he scored or she scored or he scored comes. And you as a teacher also can see their points. So, I request all of you to use this particular portal. This portal is having lot of examples. This portal is having lot of scope for a child to learn about any concept through different mode of assessment. You can add different videos, you can add different images, you can add any difficult concept, any equations which is a child is not able to understand. You know what happened when we teach via paper pen or when we teach via blackboard, a child might get a bit slow and maybe they won't get it. But if you add new things to them, if you provide them new things, then they will learn, they get encouraged by themselves to learn new things.
Of course, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing these minute yet necessary details with all our viewers regarding Testportal, and I am pretty sure that the session has turned out to be very productive for everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, we would have loved to continue the conversation, but due to paucity of time, we'll have to wrap it up here itself.
Yes.
Thanks a lot to you. Another exciting information for all our viewers, you all know that in an exciting edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji will interact with students, teachers and parents on 27th of January 2023. So let's listen to the experiences of our Honorable Prime Minister and know how to make examinations a joyful celebration by keeping examination stress out. So make sure you do not forget to watch this program live on all major channels of eVidya along with Doordarshan, Community Radio and All India Radio. So all the viewers, thanks a lot for being a part of this conversation. Stay connected. Next up we have our Sahyog session for all of you. So stay tuned to eVidya channels and we'll be right back within few minutes. Namaskar.